Hey everyone, my name is Poisonblade and I hope all of you are having a good day because I'm not, at least not today. But anyway, today we're going to build some village buildings for Suyana for the Valley of the Fox Spirit because something happened. But anyway, let's get started with the video, shall we? So the main reason that I'm not as happy today is because, well, I wanted to show you guys how I built the pagoda, how I built that bridge. And I don't know if it's my fault, but let's just assume it's my fault, but I can't find the video files for them anymore. Like, I was very happy going into like editing this video and I was like, oh yeah, I have those files and you know, those are the highlights of what I've built for Suyana. And then the files were just not there. So I'm a little bit sad that they're not there, but then I still had also a lot of footage of building the village and such. But yeah, damn it, I really wanted those files because, I mean, well, that pagoda and that bridge, it was really difficult and annoying to build them because, well, especially the pagoda was difficult to build because it's not a completely round building. It's kind of like all the round things in Planet Zoo. If you really look at it, it's not round. But yeah, let's just assume it's my fault, but I'm also just thinking that my PC just, I don't know. I do think that, well, those files would probably be kind of heavy, so maybe my PC just dropped them because my PC is sometimes a little bit weird, but let's just move on to the ramen shop, which was, I think, the funnest thing to build. Also, I made sure to keep all the buildings that I'm building today as distinct as possible. There's quite a lot of more buildings that I had to build for this kind of side project that S10 roped me into on stream. But yeah, I think forever this thing will now be a reminder of my PC hates me or I am a doofus. Because I can't show you how I built this pagoda, or that pagoda and that bridge. I don't like. Well, in a way it's also good because that pagoda, like that roof, was so annoying to build that it might have brought back some bad memories. Here's why I can only occasionally build like Asian style buildings, is because while I love the roofs and they're not that difficult, at least this roof that I'm building right now is not that difficult, but a pagoda, yeah, here the roof is like completely straight. With the pagoda, the pointy bits, they stick up a little bit because I think it's also realistic, but everything from that bridge and the pagoda was based on one reference picture that I sent as then. Everything else I sort of came up on the fly, and the ramen shop, I mean, we had to have a ramen shop. And in the end I built like a small ramen bowl because here's the thing, Suyana is an actual zoo, so there's going to be like goofy things because, you know, you need to advertise that it's a ramen shop. So I really had fun building a ramen bowl. Like, it's not small because it's an advertisement, so they're a little bit larger, you can see them from a distance, but I'm not going to let go of how I lost the footage for the pagoda and the bridge. But hey, you will see them in the background. But yeah, the roofing, like, it's great, but also tedious to build. Like, I think that's the best way to describe it. It's like, it's not difficult to build those things, it's just tedious. It takes some time. Because I know what I was doing, but then it's just like I also know, oh, this is going to take 2 hours. So a lot of the times you'll see in this video and also in all the other videos that I will skip forward when I'm building the roofs. This is, I think, one of the few times that I didn't skip forward because in a way for me an easy style to build, but it just takes long. Like, you really need to sit down for it. And now I think I finally start building that ramen bowl because I just really liked it. And I really got hungry and I wanted ramen just because I was building this. It was great. And then I wanted some, like, don't know actually if they in China actually use like chopsticks, but well, I say like the Valley of the Fox Spirit is like mainly Chinese, but there is definitely Japanese influence in there, because here's the thing that Pinterest does when you look for traditional Chinese buildings, it also gives you Japanese buildings. And yes, I checked. I was like, oh, this shrine looks perfect, like I can use this. Traditional Japanese shrine. I looked for traditional Chinese buildings. Why am I getting this? Also, yes, for if we had a sushi shop, I would also have built a sushi shop. But Frontier didn't give us a sushi shop, even though it is in Planet Coaster. Would have been great to be able to build a sushi shop, but there's, well, we also don't have a ramen shop. I don't have an excuse here. I think I just forgot to build a sushi shop, because when you're building all of these buildings and you're not really showing them, you kinda go insane. Also, this is, I think, the least favorite build, because it's a little bit wonky, but it still kind of works, because I wanted, like, the pagoda has a lot of height, the mountain that's next to it has a lot of height, and then everything is small, so I needed something else to kind of like give that gentle slope downwards. Like, here's the thing, if you want something to really stick out, make it like higher than everything by a far margin. But here I wanted it to look peaceful and such, because if you have something that really sticks out, it really quickly looks chaotic. But with the Valley of the Fox Spirit, like, the main thing was like, this needs to look as peaceful as possible. I am still sad because every time I see the bridge and the pagoda in the back, I'm just like, why don't I have the footage for that? But we will move on from that. No, we won't. I will continue to stay sad about that. But so this was a watchtower, and I kind of actually wanted to make like a small fortress or castle, because I love building castles, and you're never going to stop me from building a castle, even if it's freaking Suyana and it's an actual zoo. This was a watchtower, which I kind of modified. Like, I did not... Actually, I think this was based on the Age of Empires watchtowers, because I couldn't find an actual Chinese watchtower, because standalone watchtowers weren't usually... Or this might be just a European thing, but you usually didn't have like standalone watchtowers. They would usually have like small... Well, they would basically become castles. Having a lone watchtower is kind of like, why? Because you're not going to be able to really defend that place, because there's not enough people to defend it, and yeah, that might just be my reasoning though. But yeah, I usually don't really see standalone watchtowers except in Age of Empires, so that's why I used that as an inspiration for this watchtower. And I try to be fancy with the roof, like emphasis on tried. Again, this is in a way my least favorite build, but I kind of think that it's also just showing you the honest image of the Valley of the Fox Spirit by showing things that I'm proud of and things that I think could be improved. So yeah, I think the biggest thing on why this isn't my favorite build of all of the builds in Suyana so far is just because the upper part of the watchtower just sticks out so much. Like, I might, if I had to redo this watchtower, might have made the upper part, the actual like watching part with like the walkways and such, I might have made that a little bit smaller, because now it's tiny stick and then big watchtower, or big watching part thing. Yeah. Can we just make it a thing that if you don't know the name of something, you just call it thing or thingy? Or you just start making Minecraft villager noises to make up for it. I thought that... Nah. Again, like, this video is literally just going to be me being sad over lost footage. But hey, maybe that's a good thing. Like, I'm keeping some secrets, because the Valley of the Fox Spirit is supposed to be like beautiful but mysterious. No, I'm literally just a doofus. This video is just going to make me sad. And then also, how can I say this? Let's just say this week is not the greatest because, well, the Netherlands never really gets snow. Like, it's a rare thing to have one snow day in the entirety of the year. Now we have a full week of snow, and while snow is fun when you're a kid, because you don't have any responsibilities or obligations to go anywhere and you just can play in the snow all you want, I, as a sort of adult, I mean, my videos don't really prove that I'm 23, but there you go. But when you're an adult, you just want the snow to be gone because you just know I have to get through that shit. Like, I've said this in streams multiple times, I've said this in videos multiple times, but I deliver newspapers in the morning as like a side job. But yeah, doing that with 10 centimeters of snow is annoying, especially when the snow has kind of frosted up, so it's not like, you know, it's not like soft snow anymore, it's like half ice. So half of the time you're kind of slipping. Like 25% of the time you can actually drive through it or cycle through it, and the other 25% you are just like, fuck this shit, get it away from me. So it's just kind of like, I went through that this morning, then I found out that the footage was missing for the Pagoda and the Bridge, so this is basically a shitty day for me. So I'm going to rant about that in the video because nobody's here to stop me. Also, this building, it's kind of a shopping hall thing. Don't know how to call it, so it's just a thing. But this was actually based on a real life building. Like, all of the other buildings that you're going to see were basically based on that one reference picture, and then I had some like fantasy buildings or fantasy. They could be real life buildings, but they were like, you know, concept art from games, or I don't know, some 3D artist made something, and here's the thing, those are great. For inspiration when it comes to building, like getting like something that has been made by a 3D artist is great because you can usually see like all the dimensions, you can usually see like the front and the back, so it's, yeah, a drawing is good to build with. But a 3D rendering is amazing because you can see everything. But also, here's just a tip when it comes to building and like trying to find new things. Go to Pinterest or go to ArtStation, because copying those things, because those are not made for Planet Zoo, but trying to as closely copy those references in Planet Zoo really quickly makes you realize, oh, I can use this piece that's really not intended for this, because these roofs are all made out of bamboo beams, which I don't think Frontier intended for those to become roof pieces, but it really quickly showed me like, oh, I can use these pieces for this, and I can use these pieces for that. Although the usage of bamboo pieces as roofs didn't start with these buildings, because those actually started in Valhalla. Like, I don't know how I actually got to using bamboo pieces, but they look a little bit just like roof tiles. Because of the rings that are on them, it just looks like they, you know, overlap like roof tiles do. Yeah, I'm just really trying to make roofs that are slightly different or where the building is different. Also, I have no idea why I broke up the roof on this one. I don't know. Like, it just came to me and then I was just like, yeah, maybe this one has a broken roof and they haven't seen it yet, so they haven't repaired it yet. Or it's just like an aesthetic thing, because again, Suyanna is a zoo. Unlike all of my other projects, where I usually don't care about the zoo aspects, because I like to build worlds and not zoos, or cities and not zoos. Yeah, I had to remind myself, oh yeah, Suyanna is an actual zoo, like, as they might like to have some guests walking around this place, so then you will find goofy stuff, because, you know, the buildings don't have to be ultra realistic. Well, they can be ultra realistic in some ways, but basically what I tried with all of the things in Suyana that I built, all of the things in the Fox, or the Valley of the Fox Spirit, I want to say Fox Spirit Valley for some reason, but all of the things were like, I'm trying to blend my style, which is fantasy and like not realistic, with basically S10 style. I hit my mic, so you're probably going to hear that, because this video is basically just a crap show. But I try to blend my style with S10 style, or basically a more realistic zoo style, even though Suyana has floating islands. Well, islands. Suyana has floating rocks, which when I first saw S10 build those, I was like, one of us. Don't you dare leave us for more realistic builds. And then he built more realistic builds, and now I'm sad. This video is a crap show and just making Poisonblade sad. I will never forget that I have lost footage throughout the 2 years that I've been on YouTube. Like, that has been a thing. Like, whenever I make a schedule, it gets lost. Whenever I think like I've built something amazing, the footage gets lost or corrupted, because that has also happened. It's basically like that's literally the way to describe the channel. Yeah, I'm going to remind myself of this for quite some time. And I don't know if it's my fault. Maybe I sometimes go through all the footage and delete stuff that's like really old, and maybe with deleting the old stuff I wrongfully also deleted the footage for the Pagoda and the Bridge. But it can also happen that my PC just sometimes doesn't record. Like that I hit the record button but my PC doesn't actually record stuff. That could have happened. It can also be that, and this is a likely thing, that my PC just hates me. And that it just threw it away. Or corrupted it and now I can't find it anymore. Or threw it away this separate folder thing and I can't find it. So I have no idea what happened to that footage. Let's just assume that it's my fault, because it usually is, but anyway, third building. Even though we're almost done with the video, but these buildings, I have to clarify something. These were not meant to look like they were carved out of rocks, but I wanted like the more natural rock or natural brick vibe, because, well, here's also the thing. The wall pieces can't be, like, you can rotate them, but you can't angle them at a certain, like, angle. But I wanted it to have this slope outwards, so this would have been made with bricks, or at least some form of, like, natural looking brick, but they are not supposed to be carved out of rocks, or carved out of the mountain, because sadly we can't rotate the wall piece, or angle the wall pieces. That's the thing, like if I want to make ruins, I have to make sure that I don't use any grid pieces, because you can't angle those. Which is sad, because I sometimes want to build the Leaning Tower of Pisa, but I can't do that. Well, actually I can, now that I think about it. The Leaning Tower of Pisa I could actually make out of like completely non-grid pieces. Again, this is how ArtStation and Pinterest have sort of changed the way that I've built, or have been building, because I now really quickly know, oh, I can use those pieces for that, I can use those pieces for that, even though they were not intended for that. So, biggest tip I can give you when it comes to building, try and copy some things from Pinterest or ArtStation, because those things are not meant to be built in Planet Zoo, but you really quickly find out how you can build them in Planet Zoo, because you quickly find out how you can use pieces for their unintended, or for a way that they weren't intended for. But anyway, I'm going to sulk in a corner now because of the lost footage, so I hope you enjoyed this video. It was definitely a crap show, but anyway, if you liked the video, there is the like or subscribe button if you want to see more. And I will, well, there's also a notification button, but before that actually starts being usable or starts working, I will find the footage of that Pagoda and the Bridge. So as I said, I'm now going to sulk into a corner. I hope all of you are having a lovely day, and see ya.